Tyler Ennis, former Edmonton Oiler, former NHLer, joins us for his weekly appearance on the show. Tyler, how's it going?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. A little Adler Mannheim sweater you're rocking today?
It is. I can't believe you noticed that, but yes, Adler Mannheim.
I have very good eyesight.
I'm noticing the lovely tree.
Real or fake?
I added that today just to give it a little.
Very nice. It gives a tropical feeling. It's fall, kind of restores
Yeah.
hope. Or we'll come back.
It's very fake. Very fake.
Also, shout out to our boy Nils, who watches the show every day from Germany. He's loving the Mannheim mention. Awesome. All right, let's get into things, Tyler. Oilers come out, win their first game of the year against Philly. A big moment for many reasons. But what did you make? Did you see anything different in their win over Philly that maybe you weren't seeing from them in the first 3 games of the year?
I guess the biggest thing is that they just came back and closed one out. Throughout the game, I didn't really notice much different in terms of, their style or their pace or anything. But I think just the fact that they battled quite a bit of adversity in one game with the goals called back, posts, all that kind of thing, to come back and win in overtime was kind of awesome to see. Even though it was the first few games of the season, I think it was a big win for them.
Does momentum carry over from game to game? Like we were talking a little bit, Draisaitl gets the OT winner. The McDavid Draisaitl Bouchard connection was looking wonderful on the game tying goal as well. Do you think that gives them a little bit more swagger? They got their confidence back heading into tonight?
I think it just comes back down to just like getting rhythm and timing. Those guys are so good that once, the first, like we said, the first 10 games or so, kind of just to get the rhythm of the power play, rhythm of the breakouts, the feel of everything, that they'll start to just hum again. And I think you kind of saw that towards the end of the game, just a really sick pass by Leon, and then a great pass by Conor to set up the tying goal. And then I think that overtime goal might give them a little boost heading forward. But I think you're just seeing, as it progresses, what they are. Great, phenomenal players and a great team.
Next area I wanted to hit on a little bit. It ended beautifully for the Oilers. Draisaitl gets 2 points, OT winner. McDavid gets a couple of points as well. But there was a moment early in the third or end of the second. Draisaitl takes the cross-checking penalty, goes back to the penalty box, and he sat for the first 2 rotations through the lines in the third period. We talked a little bit about how, hey, does that maybe send a message to the rest of the team that, like, no matter who you are, if you're not moving, you can sit. When you're in a game like that, though, would you pick up on a star player getting sat down like that, or are you just so focused on whatever you're doing that it wouldn't even register?
I think it depends on the individual. Like, you're going to notice if one of the best players in the world is called out or misses a shift, definitely. I didn't notice him miss anything, but I think it really depends on the individual. If you're so dialed in on yourself or what you have to do with that shift, you might not notice it. But I think for me, if I was playing and I noticed either Conor and Leon miss a shift, I would notice it. And then speaking for myself, if I ever got sat or, if the coach was upset with me, I think it always depended on how my relationship was with the coach at that time. If I really liked the coach and we respected each other, and if you made a mistake, then you're kind of okay, or you understand the situation. If you kind of butt heads with the guy, then it could be contentious. But I think I didn't notice Leon get sat, but at the end of the game, he makes a great play, gets the game winner. So who knows? But it was nice to see. It was really nice to see the Oilers win that one, because Philadelphia is a good team. Like, they play with a lot of speed and they're young, and Edmonton, in my opinion, did a great job battling all that stuff. The fight with Stetcher, Perry, those guys stepping up was really a great thing to see for a team, and it shows you the balance of the team. They can score, they can play with anyone, obviously offensively, their special teams, and then you have Perry fight, Stetcher fight. I think it just shows you that they're tough and they're good and they're skilled. So I think it was a great game for the Oilers.
And that the Troy Stetcher fight obviously comes out in the moment after Skinner gets nailed by Couture. Have you ever been in that moment where you're like, oh, I probably don't want to fight this guy, but I know I kind of have to do something about this?
Well, I've only been in one fight in my life in the NHL, and I definitely didn't want to be in that situation, and I got beat up pretty good. So I have all the respect in the world for anyone that does that. Even if you're a fighter, even if you're not a fighter, if you're a heavyweight, if you just drop the gloves one time, it takes a lot of courage. And I think we were talking about Stetcher last week and how we like him, and he adds something to the Oilers back end that is underrated. He's got a really competitive energy. He wants to win, and I think that means a lot. And then it showed last game, fighting and dropping the gloves with the guy who's a lot bigger than you. It takes a lot of courage. So good on Stetcher for doing that.
Just to follow up on that too, we've obviously seen Sauce gonna get hit twice in the Calgary game, and then that happens. Do you after that Calgary game, do you think Skinner would have gone into the room being like, "Hey guys, they hit me twice and nobody did anything about it"? Is that stuff happen?
I never saw a goalie say something like that. Like, "Hey, I've been hit twice. Let's go. You guys need to do something." I think everyone recognizes what happens during a game, and what needs to happen. And I think what shows what a great team is a team that responds without being told what to do. So the fact that those fights happened shows, I think, maturity in a team. And it's early on, but that's why you add players and have players like Perry, and you have competitive players like Stetcher that are important for a team. I was on teams that maybe were too young, and something would happen like that during a game, and then no one would respond. And I think that's just a reflection of immaturity and just not knowing situations and how situations can affect the game like that. Like, one fight might have changed that whole game. So that's why you add mature veteran players.
Talked about Stetcher, talked about Perry as two guys you've liked. Anyone else now that we're 10 days into the season at this point? Anyone else really stand out and impress you that maybe you didn't think would this early?
Well, I came on right as you guys were talking about, I think, Conor Brown and Henrique and Janmark, those guys, that line, I think. But yeah, like, Conor Brown has played so well, I think, in my eyes. He's tenacious. He works hard. You know what you're getting absolutely every shift. He's chipping in. He does everything. So he's impressed me so far.
Yeah, I like Brownie. My hot take this year was 15 goals because he's a guy who's done it before. Like, you played with him a handful of times in the league, and last year obviously didn't go his way. He was coming back from the injury. Took him till whatever it was, game 60 some to finally find the back of the net. But he is a skilled guy. Like, he's popped 20 before.
Yeah, and he's so determined. Like, I think his best quality is that he is so determined to just do that. Whether it's give it 100% on the PK, give it 100% on the forecheck. If he's not scoring, I know it's weighing on him. So it means everything to him. So that's why I think Conor Brown is a great player, because he wants it so bad. And I think you see that every shift. He works so hard. So it was tough to see him go through that tough season last year, but he played great in the playoffs. He was a big part of their run. And I think it's carrying over this year, and now he's healthy and he's playing a lot of energy and he's playing well.
And he assisted on the last goal you ever scored against the Edmonton Oilers.
Oh, I did not know that. What was the last goal I ever scored? Was that during the bubble or something? Or what?
Yeah, no, it was before
like
the
that bubble season when we were all playing like the Canadian division. Would that have been it or no?
No, it was actually a little bit before that. It was on December 4th, 2019. Tyler Ennis from Conor Brown and Dylan DeMello, and you scored it on Mikko Koskinen in Edmonton. Does it ring a bell?
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember. That's too bad. Maybe I'll have to go look at it.
Yeah, I'll send you the highlight then.
Yeah, send it to me. I'm sure not a nice one.
Area I wanted to hit on with you, Leon Draisaitl in Nashville tonight. We've dubbed him the mayor of Smashville. He beats the shit out of the Predators. In his last 15 games against the Preds, he has 23 goals. In his career against the Preds, he has 25 goals in 26 games. is the idea of going into an arena where you are confident and have success. We like to say, like, he's walking in knowing he's getting 2 tonight. Yeah. Does that exist, or are we simply making that up?
Well, again, I can only speak for myself, but I know that there's certain rinks that, like, I just felt better in. Whether it could be something so weird as like how the lighting is and the crowd and just like the vibe of the arena sometimes just feels good, and sometimes it's the opposite where you're like, this is tough. And it might be subconscious, it might be something different, but maybe that's what Leon feels in Nashville. He just loves that rink and it feels good for him and everything just connects. But I think guys do have certain spots where it just feels good. You know, it's strange, but it's true.
I'm going to chalk it up to the fact that it's just that Tootsie's is a magical place. It's Tootsie's.
I don't know, but I have to agree. Tootsie's is magical.
Hey, you're a live music guy. That's got to be one of the best live music bars going.
Oh, for sure. And everyone always says it, but if you haven't been to Nashville for a game, you have to go just stay on that strip and go to Tootsie's and hang out and party. It's awesome.
Nation vacation next year. You promised.
Yeah. Promised.
All right. You know, we always
Tyler has promised he's coming.
Checks won't
I'm
clear.
here. I can maybe come. We'll see where I am in the world at that time, but that would be fun.
I always like to end this with a little something about your career. So coming off Draisaitl being comfortable in Nashville, you said there was a couple of spots. There's one team that you racked up the most points against in your career. You had 26 points against one team. And then there were 2 teams that you were tied with 11 goals scored against. Do you know any of them?
So the team that I had the most success with?
Yeah.
I would say against Montreal, maybe.
Yeah, so they were one of the 2 teams that you've scored 11 goals against. So you scored 11 goals against Montreal and 11 goals against New Jersey, actually.
I was going to say New Jersey after, I swear. Because when I was thinking about Leon, that he likes Nashville, I was thinking about the rinks that I liked, and I did like going to Jersey. So that's cool. That's where I had some success.
You had 11 goals against each of them, but the team you had 26 points against was actually Toronto. So that's the team you put up the most points against because you racked up assists. You had 10 goals and 16 assists. So that's probably due. Like you were in Ottawa for a good stretch, Buffalo too. Like they were.
I spent so much time in that division, but that is interesting that I had that number against Jersey because I was not in that division.
It's your roots. It's because you're from the Edmonton area. You got to show up against Toronto.
Yeah, fuck Toronto.
Yeah, definitely. It's always a fun place to play there.
Tyler, appreciate your time, man. Thanks for doing this again, and we'll chat next week.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.